Hi guys, happy Thursday. Hope everybody is doing good. Just getting my stuff together. It's been a crazy day again today, but that's okay. So tonight we are going to be working with the Lovely and Lasting stamp set. It's actually called the Lovely in Linen Bundle or Suite. And this suite comes with the punch, the stamp set, some designer series paper, and I probably should open it up in the catalog, and an embossing folder. And you know what? I don't have my catalog in here. Yes, I do. It is on page 24 and 25 in the annual catalog. And like I said, the suite comes with the embossing folder, the designer series paper, the stamp set, and this punch. And everybody's seen this punch before. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Fran. Hi, Karen. Hey, Do. And as you all know, I love this punch. I've used it many times so far this year. So just as a quick reminder, if you're looking to save some money on your crafty goodness, this would be the month to do it. Stampin' Up! Is giving, has a promotion where you can pick $55 worth of products for only $99. So it's a really great deal. You get to pick the products that you want. And I think I showed this set. Maybe I didn't, but this is a set that's coming out November 1st. The framed florets, framed and festive stamp set. There's a die set and some beautiful designer series paper and embellishments that all go together. This is going to be what I use for my craft box subscription for November. This set is available November 1st. So if you would like to grab the craft box for November, you can purchase this November 1st. All you would need is the stamp sets and the dies. I think I'm going to give a quarter or half of the designer series paper free with the craft box. So keep that in mind. Hey, Margaret. Hey, Kathy. So these are tonight's cards. Again, I did not do a trio of the same types of cards. I wanted to mix and match it so you could see a few different styles and using the set with different colors. So we did this pinwheel, which looks difficult, but it's really simple. And I used the embossing folder for the background. I think it's called Quatrefoil, and it's really a very pretty embossing folder. And then for the inside, I used my favorite punch for the thank you. And then for the next card, I did monochromatic, and this is Night of Navy. Here's a sample of the designer series paper. Again, these are two different sheets. Thanks, Sheila. Me too. I thought when you look at it, it looks so difficult, but believe me, it is so easy to make. So we just stamped the image and the sentiment. And then for the inside, I used the same little flowers that I used here on the inside. So just very pretty. And then I did just a completely plain card with the sentiment hanging off the edge. The front is smaller. And then in this set, is this stamp right here. And all I did was use it to stamp the edge of the basic white, which is, again, really pretty simple. So let's get started. Let's work on the monochromatic one first, because I'm going to have to get up and emboss the image. You don't have to keep track of measurements, because believe it or not, my post is already ready to go. It'll be available probably, I think I have it scheduled for 9 o'clock tomorrow, so you don't have to worry about. Hi, Casey. How are you, honey? All right, so we're starting out with basic white, 5.5 by 8.5, and we scored it at 4.25. So that's our basic card base. You could make it smaller into a like thank you size, but I usually do it in the 8.5 by 5.5. Then we're going to use a layer of Night of Navy, and this is 5.25 by 4. And then the Night of Navy Designer Series paper, which is really pretty. And this is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And here's another side, just so you can see, really bold colors. Thanks, Stu. Yeah, I wasn't sure what the week was going to bring, so I got everything done on Tuesday. I have to say, and I'm going to turn this the other way when I put it on my card, having a puppy, boy, am I tired. She is, and she's good as gold, I have to say. But boy, you need a lot of energy, that's for sure. And she runs me ragged. Okay, so all I did was glued the 2 layers on the front of the card. And I have the leaves going from smallest to largest, just to keep it. I mean, you could put it this way if you wanted, but it just looks upside down to me. Okay. Sorry. Then I die cut one of the stitched rectangles, and this is the one that measures 2 5/8 by 4. And we're going to pop this up. Oh, I do have some. Right onto the front of this card. But yeah, she's a trip. She, like I said, she probably weighs more than 21 pounds now, but the little stinker thinks she's a lap dog, which is fine right now, but when she's 85 pounds, it's going to be a little bit difficult. Hey, Fran. Yeah, it does change your lifestyle for sure, and it's been a long time. We had a Doberman, but we had gotten her when she was full grown, and we had to put her down 6 years ago. And the last time we had puppies was, I think, 2010. And boy, like I said, it is just very tiring. We keep her confined in our TV room with us, and I've been taking her out. Oh, 40 years. See, I wasn't going to get a dog, Fran. I was adamant. But when my sister found this Doberman, I just thought of my Reba. And that's why I decided to, get her. I was adamant about having a puppy. But I'm glad I did, because she, like I said, she's so good. She really is so good. She tells you when she wants to go out. She eats good. She sleeps in a kennel at night. She's really good. All right. So now I'm going to take my basic white, And this is going to fit on that stitched rectangle. And it's 2 3/8 by 3 3/4. And I just want it to fit inside the stitching on the rectangle. And we're going to use, let me just pull it out here. We're going to use the flower, large flower. Let me just get this cleaned off. Let's see where my scrubber is. There it is. Let me just clean this quick. Nope, didn't come off. It's not going to be on the sheet, but. And I'm going to use Night of Navy. So this is the photopolymer. So you want to make sure that when you add your ink, that all the photopolymer on the stamp is covered. Okay. And then we're going to take our small little sheet, and I'm just going to get it so we have this big flower on the piece completely. And I'm going to try not to rock. And then we're just going to press this down really good so it stamps it. And there we go. So here's what it would look like if we stamped off. So it's too light. And that looks pretty good. Now you'll notice that some of the spots in here, there's white showing through. If that bothers you after you've done it, you can always take your Night of Navy blend, and mine looks like it's running out, and just fill that in a little bit. If you didn't want to use your blends, you could always use your Stamping Right markers. Thank you for sharing. Aww. Yeah, I mean, you do. They're so tiring. What kind of dog do you have, Karen? 73-pound lap dog? So I guess, hey, Kathy, I guess, she'll be a lap dog forever, huh? All right. So I am going to put this, I'm going to put the stamped image down where the line is on the embossing folder. Why? Because this is the right side of the embossing folder where you'll get the nice embossing on your image. Let me just run this through quick. Oh, wrong way. Quick, quick, quick. There we go. All right. So there we go. So now it's all embossed. We can pull our card back in. And we're just going to adhere this. Oh, it is a part greyhound. My sister had rescued a few greyhounds. All right, so we're just going to add it right to the front of the card. Now looking at this image, I'm just going to scoot this over a little bit. If I was to stamp this again, I would shift it over just a little bit because I have these cut off and these aren't. So I would shift it over a little bit. All right, so now that we have that adhered to the stitched rectangle, I am going to pull out some iridescent pearls. And we're going to use one of the larger ones and put it in the center of the large flower. And then we're going to take one of the smaller ones and add it to the smaller flower. And then I'm going to take the large ones and put them in the corners. And then we're going to put a smaller one to the left of this one. This one we're going to come down. Okay, so that's all the embellishments for the front of this card. Now we need to stamp our sentiment. Hey Pam, happy Thursday to you. Oh, I remember you posting about your collie, Karen. What kind of dog are you looking for? All right, so we're going to grab our Night of Navy again, and we're going to grab our basic white, and I'm just going to grab my silicone mat. And I'm not going to use the outline. Okay, we're just going to grab our punch, and I'm going to actually punch it out. Let's do it here. Oh, there's a spot there too. Right like that. Now I already did punch one out in Night of Navy. And all I'm going to do is cut this one completely in half. Because you'll notice on the card you can see a little Night of Navy peeking through. Okay? Anything with the 4 legs, 3 would be fine. Oh, you're welcome, Karen. I'm glad it finally got there. All right, so this is our happy birthday card. So we are going to grab the happy birthday stamp. And luckily, we can see through these. So I should be able to get it on here straight. So we're going to put it right in the center of this label. We're going to keep our Night of Navy. And I am going to grab this little flower. It's like a little cluster of flowers. And if you notice, there is a little teeny one sticking out here. And it actually fits right in this little loop right here, or curve on the sentiment. So we're just going to ink it up, and I'm just going to get over top of it so I can see. And we're going to stamp this right there. And then we're just going to turn it around because we want it on the opposite corner. And we're going to do the same thing. Line it up so it is right near that curve and stamp. And we're going to leave that stamp out because we're going to need it for the inside. And then we're just going to take our Night of Navy. I feel like I'm running out of glue. And we're just going to put this so it's showing about 1/8 of an inch or so. Might be a little bit more. Just a nice back to the sentiment. Now we're going to pull our card in. Now we've been, oops, it shifted. We've been here before. I'm going to put this right in the corner. It's already popped up here. So we're going to need dimensionals on this corner. So it pops, so it holds it up. So we're just going to add 1 dimensional right there. And we're going to add some glue to this top corner. This way it'll be even on the front of the card. Let's just shift it over a little bit. I'm just going to hold it so that glue holds. There we go. And there is the front of our card. Just quick and easy. So for the inside, I have Night of Navy again. And this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then we have 5 1/4 by 4. So we're just going to pull in our Night of Navy. Get rid of this little piece. And that little cluster of flowers again. And we are going to just take this cluster and we're going to put it in each of the corners. There's one. And I'm just eyeballing it, making sure that each of the ends are on the cardstock itself. I'm sure they're not going to be completely perfect, but the idea is to get them in the corners. And as simple as that is, it just looks so pretty with those little flowers. So we're going to just grab our seal. Oops. Add it to this base. Ah, there we go. And then take our layer. And layer it down. Now we can add it to the inside of our card. There we go. Just a quick and easy card, doing a little stamping and showcasing the flower that's in the stamp set. All right, opened up a new glue so in case I run out. Thanks, Kathy. Yeah, I like, it's funny. I did, again, it was another stamp set that I've had, and I focused just on this sentiment and didn't even look at the rest of it and figured, well, it's time to pull it out. All right, so here's another easy one. We're using pale papaya and sweet sorbet with this wild designer series paper. So we have pale papaya, and it is 7 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I scored it at 3. Okay. Now for this card, I'm actually going to do the inside first. This way, when we get to the outside of the card, we have something to line up with. I'd rather have this piece looking pretty even before getting the front on. So we're just going to take our, and I think this 5 3/8, yep, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. All right, let's open the new glue. And we are going to adhere this to the inside of the card first. And I just want to worry mostly about these 3 sides. And I want to get it in there so it's fairly straight. Just like that. Now let's take our basic white layer. I'm going to grab my silicone mat and a piece of scrap paper. I have my sweet sorbet. Oops. And this rectangle stamp. Let me get this straight. Let me just clean this off a second. All right. Now you'll notice on this stamp, there's little triangles, and I'm going to stamp it on here. You can see the little triangles sticking out, and then the next one has it tucked in. That's so we can line the stamp up if we want to go right next to each other. And that's what I want to do for the inside of this card. So I'm actually going to start on one end. I'm going to turn this so I can see. And I'm just going to try to get the little points that are sticking out and line it up with the edge of the paper. And I'm going to get it as close as I can. And then we're just going to give it a good stamp. So and I missed right there. And I'm going to show you how to fix that because I did it on the other one too. So now we're going to go down to the next one and we're going to line it up again with the edge, but also these two pieces here. So I want to line those up and get it with the edge of my paper. So I'm looking at 3 or 4 different places. And then we're just going to lay this down. Hopefully it's in there straight. And it's not. Let's turn it around so I can do this so it's straight. I'm looking over my camera, so I'm going to just move this up just a little so I can look beyond my camera. All right, so there's one. Two. And 3. All right. It's not 100% straight, but I do want to show you. I'm going to grab my Sweet Sorbet Stampin' Right marker, and you'll notice that for some reason these corners didn't come out too good. So I'm going to use the part that you would write with, and this is Sweet Sorbet, and I'm just going to go over those lines and those dots. See if I missed any more. Okay. And then we're going to put this right here on the inside of our card. Now, if I thought I should have really marked it because it is really crooked. But if you just take your time with it, this one actually came out pretty good. Hi, Marilyn. Thanks, Margaret. Okay, so now that we have the inside, we can work on the outside. And I have Sweet Sorbet 2 7/8 by 5 3/8. And we're going to glue this, and I'm going to glue it instead of using seal because I want to get it so it's even with that layer on the inside. I'm just going to turn this. All right, so now the sweet sorbet is pretty straight. Now I'm going to layer a basic white, 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And we're just going to lay this on the front of the card. And again, I want to try to match it up with the basic white on the inside of the card. And then here's the other side of the designer series paper. And we're going to use this crazy pattern. And this one, we could just get it on here and make sure it's centered on the basic white. Just to take it off my sweatshirt. Sorry, ladies. Getting warm in here. All right. So again, I punched out the label in Sweet Sorbet. And I am going to cut that one in half. We're going to grab our basic white for our sentiment. I just want to make sure this will fit. Yep. And this time we're going to do thank you. So I'm going to grab my sweet sorbet. And you know what? I am going to punch it first so I can get it centered a little bit. So let's ink that up really good. We're going to get our thank you right in the center. Try not to rock it. Then I'm going to grab, it's a little swag of leaves. And I'm going to take that with some pale papaya, the same color as the card base. And for this little swag, it actually fits, and I'll show you, right here along the edge perfectly. So we're just going to make sure we're inked up and stamp that swag there. Turn it around. Stamp it there. We can get rid of this. And we're going to put our sentiment on these pieces of sweet sorbet. Just get it on there. Just have to make sure it doesn't shift. Then we can pull our card in, and I'm actually just going to glue it. So I'm just going to add glue on this side. And just center it right about there. Just quick and easy. I'm going to grab a length of pale papaya ribbon. Let's tie this bow. I'm just going to take my tails, See which way's up, and then just give them a trim. Let's grab a glue dot. We're going to add it right here to the corner. We'll stick this ribbon on. And then we're going to grab those iridescent pearls again, taking the smallest. I'm going to put it right in the center of that swag. And then there is the second card. So it's just a quick and easy thank you card using a different stamp and focusing on the designer series paper. So quick and easy. So let's grab card number 3. This is the pinwheel card. That looks so difficult, but honestly, it is just so easy. We have soft succulent, 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2. So again, it's a 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 card. We're going to use some evening evergreen, and the evening evergreen is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and then 5 1/4 by 4 is the basic white. And I ran it through the embossing machine with that quatrefoil. Aw, thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Sue. Okay, so again, we are just going to adhere these 2 layers together. And I'm using glue. And then I am just going to grab a length of the evening evergreen open weave ribbon, and we're going to adhere this right around this card. I just want to put it right towards the bottom because we do have a square. So we're just going to inch that down just a little. And you know me, I like to just wrap it and hold it in place with a glue dot. See that it's on there straight. Just going to pull this side up a little bit. Okay, that looks good. So now we're just going to adhere this to the front of the card. Just like that. I must have folded it crooked. Let me just, there we go. All right, so there is our card base. Okay, this little corner is sticking up. I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of paper, add a little bit of glue, and just stick it under there. All right. So we're going to stick with that evening evergreen. And this little square is 3 by 3. And we have 2 of them. 2 3 by 3 squares. Now we want, let's see how I did this one. So I want to do it exactly the same. We're going to layer one on top of the other. okay? You want to, when you glue these together, and I'm just going to add some glue down the center. When we add these together, we want to try to get it so our little triangles off the ends are pretty even. Even these. You want to just get a fair idea and get them on there so it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to get them so they're pretty even. If you wanted to get crazy, you can mark it at the halfway mark and then come down from the center. I didn't want to get that crazy. Okay, so there is the center of our card. Have you done them before, Kathy? This is the first time I've done it. Okay, so now for the pieces of the pinwheel, I wanted to do the green. So I have 4 in the green, and it's 1.5 by 1.5. And then I like the other side of the paper also, so I cut another 4, 1.5 by 1.5. And what we want to do is we're going to take our seal, and we're just going to add a little bit of seal down from each corner. Whoops. You can use glue too, but I found it pretty easy with the seal if you can get it moving. I always break it off wrong. Okay, oops, one more. Okay, so here's our pinwheel, and you can see I've added my seal from each corner down towards the center. And I am going to start with the green, and I'm going to lay it in one corner. Now we want to make sure that you just have it nice and close to the edge. And we're just going to lay this down just like that. Now we're going to alternate. We're going to take the second pattern, go to the next corner, and we're going to lay it down exactly the same way, leaving at least the same amount of space along the edge. We're going to go to the next corner. We're going to grab our green, and we're going to lay it down. We want it to again be even, just like that. Go to our next corner, our alternate color, and lay it down. Now we're on to green. So we're going to lay the green in this corner. And then we're going to grab our alternate color. And our green. Okay, now we have to put our last little square, but we don't want to lay it on top because it needs to get tucked under. And let me just grab it needs to get tucked under this piece right here. All right, so we're just going to pull this piece up just a little without ruining it. And we're going to take this piece and lay it on this corner, but we're going to tuck it under just like this. Now you're going to notice that you might have a little bit of a bulge right here in the center, but don't worry about it. Just get that piece in there and lay it down so it's even. And this little bulge, all you have to do is push it down. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a small piece of paper and we're going to glue down the other side. So we have this little piece. We're going to just add some glue and add some glue. This way we can make sure these little pieces are glued down. And we're going to go all the way around, because we know these corners have the seal. I do this one here. And that should be all of them. So now they're all glued down, and the two large squares are 3 by 3, and the little smaller squares are 1.5 by 1.5. Right, Kathy? It looks so hard, but it's so simple. So we're going to grab our card base, and I'm going to use my 4 green squares here so they are squared instead of diamond. And we're just going to add some glue to the one square, and we're going to get this onto the front of the card. Now you'll notice that your points are going to go right to the edge of the card. I'm just going to make sure this is on here straight. Just like that. So I just think this is a fun little card. I'm going to grab one of these iridescent pearls, and I'm just going to stick it right there in the center where all those pieces of paper came together. Right? Really fun. So let's grab another length of this evening evergreen open weave ribbon. And we're just going to tie a bow. It's stuck on my finger. And again, we're just going to pull these tails down. Trim it off. Grab a glue dot, and I'm going to put it right here, right at the end of that diamond. And it's warm in here tonight, so my glue dots are really soft. And add our bow. So how cool is that? Looks like such a hard card, and it really is so simple. Oh, I hear you, Karen. Sometimes, I think sometimes, I have trouble with my bows. All right, so let's work on the inside. Now for the inside, I actually am going to use, and look at my block, I have evergreen all over it. I'm actually going to use the frame on this one and the evening evergreen. And we're going to ink this up and give it a stamp. Now, did I do thank you in this one? I did. I did thank you on this one also. But you could use thinking of you, oh hello, cheers, best of luck, So there's lots of alternatives, but I did use thank you. I'm just going to ink it up, and we'll get this right here in the center. And grab the punch. We're just going to line this up. Give it a... And grab our insides. 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. 5 1/4 by 4. And on this piece, I am just going to, again, grab some glue dots. This is always such a quick and easy way to decorate the inside of your card. Just grab a length of ribbon, and we're going to move it up just a little bit. And I'm moving it up a little so I can get that sentiment label. Make sure that's on there straight. And we're going to just add some glue. Lay it right there in the center. Grab our seal. And our card. Add a bit of glue. And just adhere it right to the inside of your card. Just scoot that down a little bit. And there you go. How perfect is that? That would be great for a sewer. Someone in your life who sews, that would be perfect. Aw, you're welcome, Sue. And here's number 2. And here's number 3. Same stamp set, just a different bunch of cards. Thanks, Sheila. So I hope you liked tonight's cards, and I hope you get a chance to create this one. This one was really fun. It's perfect for all those little scraps you have laying around of designer series paper. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Stu. Thanks, Margaret. Quilting with paper, absolutely. It's perfect, perfect. So, ladies, thanks for joining me tonight. I will see you on Saturday morning at 11 for our Simple Saturday. And I think this week I'm going to combine Simple Saturday and Stepped Up Sunday because I have things in my house I have to get done. And I think I'm going to take Sunday to work in my house. So we'll combine everything on Saturday. So I'll see you at 11. And I hope you have a great rest of the week. Thanks, Sue. Thank you, Sheila. And I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.